My name is Antonio Sanchez. I am 25 years old. I own a cleaning business that's been in business for 2 years. We did $400,000 last year. Our big goal is 10 million, and hopefully we can get there, but right now we're on track for like 1.6 to about 3. Typically my days look 12, 14, 15 hours of just focused effort on building an actual business. Because this business wasn't founded on we didn't buy a business, we didn't copy someone's business model. So we kind of just started doing things. And so we didn't have any sort of structure or leverage, and we turned that and just kept evolving into a functioning business. My purpose in this, my goal in this is to take that from truly nothing like we did and build it into a scalable actual operation. So something where I can fully be out of the business, I can have people running the business in it for me. I can know exactly what functions of the business are essential, where we get the most leverage for our money. I want to know everything about the business and build a structure that I can just send out into the world, and I know that it will do good and make money. So over these past 2 years, I've kind of learned a lot about business. I've learned a lot about why, we need certain things in a business and what's really important and what's not. And my goal with this is to really document all of these things that I've learned. One, for a selfish reason, I want to be able to look back at it, kind of see how I evolved over time, and just document that as like a cool thing. When I'm 30, 40, I can look back and be like, look at this is cool. This is like where I was in my headspace. But I also want to open a door for you to maybe see someone who's a little bit further along than you. I'm not exactly, Alex Hormozi or, Elon Musk right now. But I'm definitely going to be successful because I'm going to will it into existence. And I'm going to do that through hard work. And I'm going to document what my hard work is going to and what its results are, what I'm learning, actionable insights, that sort of deal. And I'm gonna just give it all here. My life right now consists of the business. Before that, I graduated college, became an engineer, a design engineer, screwed up, got fired, went to a different job. I was working 11 hours a day. I would cook breakfast, meal prep. I would go to work. I would then get off work, go to the gym. I'd work out for about 1 to 2 hours. I'd get home. I'd cook and meal prep for my dinner and breakfast of the next day. And then I'd go to sleep and repeat that all over again. I was just doing the motions. I did all this. I became an engineer. Cool, I was making about $80,000 a year because I was working 60 hours a week, roughly. I didn't feel like I was achieving any dream or anything that I wanted to achieve. My boss at my job was asking me to put in less hours, right? So when my boss came to me and asked me, but he essentially demanded me to reduce the amount of hours I was working. And I said the traditional yes sir, went back to my desk and just started thinking. I decided in that moment that I'm going to chase after my dreams, and I decided to quit my job the day that my boss asked me to reduce my hours. For me, I've always been really driven. I want to be successful, right? I don't want to just be someone that nobody cares about. I don't want to be someone that's just doing the grind, that's just, living the 9 to 5. I am geared towards the grind. I want to grind. Like when I was little, I played video games, and when I played video games, I didn't want to just play video games to have fun. I wanted to play to be good. I wanted to beat all my competition. I wanted to be the best. I wanted to have the most kills. I wanted to just take advantages of game systems that maybe other people didn't know about, so they weren't getting leverage out of it. I was so into gaming that I wouldn't just go and play games and just have fun all the time. Sometimes I would do literal training sessions. So I would do things like aim labs and movement tech, and I would watch a lot of YouTube videos to learn strategies, whether it's Counter-Strike or if I'm playing more of a casual game. For me, not so casual, but so that's kind of how I'm wired as a person. I just want to maximize everything that I'm doing. One, I just think it's super fun, and two, I feel like I'm wasting my potential if I don't. So same thing in the business, right? So now it's I literally had to give up gaming to commit myself as much as I wanted to the business, and that's just because I want to go hard in everything that I do. The how is a lot of trial and error. Whatever problem I was finding, I would hyper focus on that, which means I would basically run into a problem in the business, and I would be like, how do I solve this, right? We were going house to house. We didn't really have a lot of leverage in what we were doing. So essentially, we were going and asking for $15 to wash trash cans, right? That takes about 15 minutes. So something that has high leverage could still take 15 minutes. Let me think of an example. A doctor checkup can take about 15 minutes, right? If you're sitting in there, the doctor comes in for 15 minutes, and they charge you an arm and a leg, right? But we were going to these trash cans, washing them for $15. So we didn't have a lot of leverage in terms of the amount that we could charge for what we were providing. And so we started thinking bigger as soon as we started. So we didn't wash trash cans but for a couple weeks. And then we were like, well, we have a power washer, and all these people that have trash cans have driveways. So we should ask them to wash their driveway, and we could charge more, right? We had seen on YouTube people charging like $100, right? And those are the cheap people, but we really didn't understand premium pricing at this point. So we were just like, we'll just go start asking people to wash their driveways, which would take maybe twice as long, but we can charge more than twice the price. So that's more leverage for that amount of time spent. We had a power washer, so we'd watch power washing businesses. We would watch things and try to understand how they priced. We would try to understand like how they chose their target clients, right? We didn't know the term target clients, but we would try to figure out who they were going after. We started out with a service that we provided. We asked, with this same equipment that we have, can we provide a more valuable service? Basically, every step of the way, we run into a problem. So let's fast forward a little bit. So now let's talk about when we ran into the issue of actually niching down to our target client. We just asked questions about, well, what exactly is a target client, right? What does that mean? Like, what makes one client better than another? So why would you have a different target client than a competitor? We would just break down the problem that we had, understand it, consume media, do research, and ask people that know. There's a term that I like called failure to implement. And the gist of that is anything that you learn is only valuable if you implement it. But the vast majority of people learn something and don't implement it. So it's just a failure to implement will result in no traction, no increase in leverage, no increase in dollars. It's just, you just learn something just to learn something. And to really drive this point home, our niching down was really a big point, right? So there was a couple months where we understood that we needed to niche down and have an ideal target client, which basically is a client that you identify attributes for that fit into your business that you can provide the most value to. So we understood that concept, but we didn't implement it for a couple months because, you know, business is kind of business, and you're just trying to make your next dollar. You're trying to make all your bills. You're trying to make money. You're just trying to move everything forward. But when we really stopped and took a look at, like, what are we doing? Who are we selling to? Should we really niche this down? We went from, you know, being able to charge a couple thousand to our clients to charging, you know, tens of thousands for a project, because we knew this target client so well that we can go in and say, hey, we know exactly the problems that you have, and we know exactly how to solve them. Even if they didn't really realize they had the problem, we're able to articulate the fact that we understand the way that your machine is operating, and we can really oil up that machine in this specific point to provide you value. And when we did that, we started charging a lot higher prices. So our first year of business, we only did about $70,000 of revenue. So that's not that much money, right? That's, I don't know what the breakdown is, but essentially it's like less than $100 a day. So it's really nothing. And that was because we were just throwing stuff at the wall. You know, if we're going up to a business, hey, can we power wash your building? Can we soft wash it? Can we get all this gunk off? Can we power wash your walkway? Can we power wash your driveway? Or your whole parking lot? And we weren't really targeted on anything. We weren't focused. So we were able to make some wins, right? And charge, like, I think our biggest charge that year was probably, I think $10,000. So we charged someone $10,000, but it was like a giant project, and it took us a long time to fulfill. But that was different than anything else we had done that year. So it was like we just had a random thing introduced into the business, and that's kind of what can be known as, you know, the woman in the red dress, right? That the shiny object syndrome. So we just went after anything and everything that had more than $1 attached to it that we could make a profit on. And that was why the first year, I mean, we made $70,000, but $70,000 is nothing to be crazy about. And the second year, this previous year, we made 400,000. So that's more than a 4x growth. And how we did that is we started only offering a certain amount of services. So we started niching down on what we offer, and then the biggest unlock after that was only offering that range of services that we offer to our target client, right? So we can clean anything, right? We're a cleaning company. We focus on post-construction cleaning. We can clean anything, but what do we want to clean? What can we offer the most value to clean? Is it, are we cleaning a bunch of chain restaurants, right? That would be a perfectly legitimate business where, you get in with someone like Chick-fil-A, or you get in with someone like Waffle House, which is someone that we clean for. We cleaned a Waffle House, but we decided that our target client wasn't that person, so we stopped offering that service to those people. February just ended, and we have about 600,000 in closed jobs already. So not all of these are executed, but they're all closed for the year. So they're going to happen this year, and we're going to get paid for them. And that is because we decided to niche down. So it's the end of the second month, and we are already going to do better than we did last year, because we chose to implement this knowledge that we had of we should really niche down our services and then focus those services to our target client and no one else. So what I really want to do with this is just be open and honest. I want to document my journey for me. I want to see where I was at and what I was thinking at certain points along my journey. And I also want to be as transparent as possible for you. So I want to explain exactly what I'm learning, why I'm learning it, why I think it's valuable, and how it's providing, actual dollar increases in the business. I want to explain literally anything and everything that I learn, and this encompasses all of business, but it's really niche stuff that I'm learning at certain times, right? So, for example, I've got really big into learning how to hire employees, right? And so, what is all that's involved with that? Well, first you have to attract talent, so you have to generate applications. So you have to have a job that people want to work and a pay that people want to work for, and then once you generate those applicants, then you have to screen those applicants, because you don't want to waste your time interviewing everyone. You want to focus the job and the fit of the job to a specific type of person that fits all together as a cohesive piece. So you screen all these applicants through a process that only gets you the type of people that you want. And then from the screening, you have the actual interview. So you're niching down on, do they actually know what the job is? Do they understand what their day-to-day is going to look like? Do they know exactly what their pay is with no questions? Do they know how benefits are going to work? Do they know how hours work? Do we know that this is post-construction? We expect, we're project-based, so it's not a set schedule per se. We try to give a reliable schedule, but it's construction, so stuff moves around. So you basically have to get your people to understand exactly what the role is, make sure you're aligned, make sure that they have the skills, and then from there you go into hiring and onboarding. So that's when you actually bring them on, but you gotta bring them on in the correct way, right? So you have to introduce them to the culture. You have to show them an example of what good looks like. They have to understand what their role is and the purpose of their role and the purpose of what they do every day and how that fits back into the business as a big picture. And that's just one aspect of thing that I've learned and that I want to share. And there's lots more, from finance to invoicing to actual training once you hire the people, to building standard operating procedures, to structuring the business, to trying to implement culture, to sales and marketing, all that sort of jazz. Everything in the business has a million little pieces on it. On this board is little individual pieces of the company that need to be built out in order for me to achieve that goal of building an actual business that I can just put into play and it'll run itself. And for me, I'm learning myself, right? And so I choose specific people that I both respect and that are in positions that I value to get my advice from. And this is people like Alex Hormozzi, Layla Hormozzi, Tommy Mello, people really of this caliber that have big businesses that are plug and play, right? Like Alex Hormozzi built Gym Launch, and that's a plug and play business that he sold, and that's essentially what I want to do with my cleaning business. Except I want to grow it bigger than he grew Gym Launch. And so if you're feeling like you're lost, you don't know what the world is, you don't know where you're going, that's okay. Everyone is there. Everyone's been there, and maybe not everyone, but a lot of us. And so just really imagine where you want to go and who is that person that you want to be, and figure out what attributes and what characteristics that person has, and just start implementing them and just start becoming them. And one day in 5 years you'll look back and you won't recognize the person you used to be. So when I first started, right, when I first quit my engineering job and started my own business, I was really uncertain about a lot of things. I had the good fortune of not having any large responsibilities, like having a large rent or a car payment or any of that stuff, but I still didn't know anything about the world. I had just got out of school. My whole life had been structured up until that point, right? I did the thing. I got good grades in high school. I got good grades in college. I graduated and I got a good job, and I was just doing the things that everyone's expected to do. But I wasn't really sure if I was going in the direction that I wanted to go. I wasn't super excited to get that engineering job. I wasn't sad either, but I was just going through the motions. And then when I quit, it was more of a reality check in the terms of this is life. If I choose to do nothing and I sit on the couch all day, I'm gonna be broke and I'm not going to get where I want to go. I'm not going to be able to see the world like I want to go travel and see the world. I'm not going to, own a business that's generating a lot of money. I'm not going to be able to make these cool relationships with cool people and have cool experiences if I just sit here on the couch and don't do anything. That kind of propelled me into just a growth mindset. So I just want to achieve and grow as I move on. So this really started with, okay, I don't really know what's going on. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know who I am, and that's okay. But this is where I want to go. So how do I get there? To identify the type of person I wanted to be in the future, and to strive to be that person. So the biggest implements for me right away were, I want to be a hardworking person. So I want to get up every day and I want to just grind. I want to go to work, and I want to, I don't need to show it off. I don't need everyone to know that I'm working really hard. I just want to work really hard for me. I want to understand that, all these hours I'm putting in are getting me closer and closer to where I'm trying to go. So to dream big, to really achieve something big, you have to take it seriously, because these people that are in the Olympics and that are competing at the highest level, these people who own these biggest businesses, they're not half-hearted into it. Elon Musk, this is a guy that everyone knows, everyone respects in a way. All business owners, at least, really try to strive to resemble Elon in some way because of the incredible businesses that he's built. And not just once, but many, many times, of large, humongous businesses that are generating billions and billions in revenue every year. For him to achieve that, he had to give up a lot, right? So he had to commit all of his time to not being fit, right? He's not in great shape. He's fully structured his mind into a business problem-solving mind, so he doesn't really have that much empathy, and you can see that when you watch him. So it's there's this big thing that he achieved, but you got to understand what that big thing is and what it costs. As a person, as a human being, you can achieve anything. You can become better than Elon Musk, and you can be richer than him. You can, become the best gymnast in the world. You can become the best basketball player in the world. But that's going to come at a cost, because every second that you're not on the basketball court getting better and becoming the best basketball player in the world, someone else is. And so that person is going to beat you if they're spending twice as much time on the court than you are. I kind of internalized that. I don't want to be Elon Musk in the way that I don't want to sacrifice everything and have nothing besides a really big business and lots of money. That's a cool idea, that's a cool concept, and I understand it and I respect him for doing it and achieving it. That's amazing. But for me, I want to be in the top 1%. I don't want to be the 1% of the 1%. I want to be super wealthy, and with that, I am sacrificing a lot of my time, right? And right now, I see it as like me sacrificing my 20s. I'm 25. I've been at it for, just over 2 years. So I started when I was 23. And those 2 years, yeah, sure, I've done a little bit of fun things now and then too. But it's really just been business. It's been waking up every day, looking at where the business is, looking at the things that I need to do to keep it running where it is, and looking at where I can improve it to get it where I want it to be. And that's a serious, first thing, time commitment. Just the willingness to put in the hours is essential. If you're not willing to put in the hours, you're not going to achieve anything. And that goes for anything. Playing video games, if you're not willing to put in the hours playing video games, you're not going to be amazing at playing video games. Just plain and simple. And it also comes with other sacrifices too, right? So there's the way that you structure your life. You have to structure your life in a way that you can achieve what you want to achieve, right? So the people around me understand that I don't have a lot of free time to just do super spontaneous things, for lack of a better term. I prioritize the business, and I put the business as the top of my priority. Everyone knows this, from my parents to my partner to my friends, to my siblings to my girlfriend. They all understand how important business is to me. That's a sacrifice in a way, but not if you explain it to them, right? So if you're open and honest about it, I want to be great, I want to have this great business, and this is really important to me. And I feel like it's going to open up a lot of doors, and it's going to give me a lot of opportunities to have really cool experiences, to meet really cool people, to buy really cool things, and just explain it in an honest way, the way you feel about it, and then position your life in a way that everyone around you understands what your goal is and where you're trying to go, and make sure that they understand that that goal is so big that it requires sacrifices, right? I can't go on date nights with my girlfriend every weekend, or even really that many times a month. And, that just is what it is. She understands that, and I understand that, and we agree on that. And so it's not splitting us apart, but that's just because of the way that I've structured my life. So if you're someone who's in a similar situation to I was, and you're really considering starting a business, there's really 3 things that I would encourage you to just think about before you really made the choice, right? And the first is to know that you actually want it, right? Do you actually want to own a business, or do you just want to be rich? Because there's, owning a business is just one path to wealth. So you don't need to own a business to be wealthy. You can, work a high leverage job. You can just be an investor. There's a lot of things that you can do to achieve material success, and being a business owner isn't the only one. The second is know the sacrifices. So no matter what path you choose to go on, if you choose to become a day trader, and that's like you're committing to it, that's different than being a business owner, and it has different sacrifices, right? So you're always going to need to have a computer, you're always going to need to have an internet connection, you're going to need to step away from an important moment to make a trade when the opportunity arises. And so there's certain sacrifices that come with these things. And for the business, there's all the sacrifices of how much a time commitment is, the way it affects you and the people around you, and just in general, what you have to give up, or even more than just what you're willing to give up, but more of the things that you actually have to do to be a business owner. And the third is, think long-term about your life. Think in 5 years, where would I want to be? In 10 years, where would I want to be? And does just owning a business help me get there? And if the answer is no, then you probably don't need to own a business. You probably need to do something else. Maybe it's not what you're doing now, and that's why you're feeling the way you're feeling, but you don't need to start a business just because it's, trendy, it's what people are doing. You need to start a business because it fits into the lifestyle that you want long term. With that being said, I hope you enjoyed this first video. Please comment down below, kind of where are you at maybe in your business, what's stopping you from starting a business, or maybe what things would you like to know before you were gonna do something like start a business. I'd love to hear from you. It's really gonna help me understand who's watching and kind of what kind of value I can bring to you. And hopefully along the way, it helps you out and you're able to, you know, maybe solve an exact problem that you're running into. Maybe I've made a video of the exact problem that you're running into, so you can see kind of how I framed it, how I thought about it, how I actually created a system for it. And maybe it'll help you, you know, achieve that next level. And even if stuff that you're a business owner and you've already achieved some success, but maybe your systems and processes weren't really as thought out. You know, you were just building it because you were doing what you had to do. Maybe now you can go back and kind of use these nuggets of information to make your business better and to make the business landscape better. That's really my goal. And it's going to help me learn. So the more I can bring more knowledge to everyone, the happier I'll be. If you thought this video was at all helpful or just kind of entertaining, give it a thumbs up. If you think that any of this stuff that I'm talking about and any of the stuff that I'm gonna go in depth to in the future can be helpful, just go ahead and hit that subscribe. You know, I'll be uploading here regularly. This is going to be part of, you know, my documentation, my growth, and my business growth is gonna be making these videos. So they're gonna be here for you.